He's the god of thunder on screen. A global superstar. A man who seems to have it all: fame, fortune, and the perfect life. But what if I told you there's a part of Chris Hemsworth's story you've never heard? A secret buried deep in the Australian wilderness. A night so dark, it changed him forever. Tonight, we pull back the curtain on a mystery hidden for over a decade. A story that never made the headlines, but left scars no camera could ever capture. Chris Hemsworth wasn't born a superstar. He started small, a young actor in Australian soap operas like Home and Away. But everything changed in 2011. When he picked up the hammer and became Thor, the god of thunder. With success came adoration. He was everywhere: talk shows, movie premieres, magazine covers. Fans saw strength, confidence, perfection. But behind those bright smiles, Chris carried something no one could see. In early 2012, Chris Hemsworth vanished. No cameras. No interviews. No public appearances for days. His team said it was a wellness retreat. A short break before his next big Marvel shoot. But whispers told a different story. Chris had taken a solo trip to a remote cabin in the middle of nowhere. No phone. No security. No contact for 72 hours. Locals reported strange noises. Echoes through the trees. A sound like someone screaming in the dead of night. A search helicopter was dispatched. And then, after 3 long days, Chris Hemsworth returned. Silent. Pale. Changed. Inside that remote cabin, something happened. Something so dark. Chris Hemsworth never spoke of it. At first, it was peaceful. The sound of the wind, the crackling fireplace, a man alone with his thoughts. But peace didn't last long. He wasn't alone. A stranger had broken in. A man obsessed. A fan who believed Chris was chosen by Norse gods. The intruder was armed. A hunting knife in one hand, a hammer in the other. He muttered words Chris could barely understand. "You are the one, the prophecy is real." In that moment, Chris realized this wasn't a fan. This was a believer. A dangerous man lost in delusion. A fight broke out. Wood splintered. Glass shattered. Chris fought for his life inside that tiny cabin. And then, the nightmare reached its peak. Right there, in front of Chris Hemsworth. The man ended his life. It was never reported. No police records. No headlines. Just silence. And scars that would never fade. Chris Hemsworth walked out of that cabin alive. But he was never the same. In the weeks that followed, friends noticed changes. He smiled less. Spoke even less. He avoided solo trips. Refused to stay alone. And at night, he couldn't sleep. To the world, he was still the god of thunder. Strong, unshaken, invincible. But inside, he was broken. Over time, Chris began searching for answers. Meditation, memory therapy, even funding secret mental health programs in rural Australia. But no amount of mindfulness could erase the image burned into his mind that night. A smile, and the sound of silence after. Hollywood never knew the truth. To the world, Chris Hemsworth was on top of the game. But his choices told another story. After that night, Chris turned down roles involving psychological trauma, scripts that mirrored his pain. One insider revealed Chris was offered a major role in Shutter Island's spiritual successor. He refused, without explanation. But the shadows of that cabin still slipped through. Not in real life, but on screen. In Ragnarok, Chris improvised a line that stunned even the director. Sometimes the strongest people carry the darkest burdens. Fans thought it was just acting. But was it a confession? Behind the laughter, behind the strength, was a man trying to hide his scars in plain sight. Fame is a bright light. It blinds us to the shadows hiding behind the smiles. Chris Hemsworth became a global icon. But some battles are fought in silence. That night in the Australian wilderness didn't just take a life. It changed his forever. He returned to the world as Thor, the strongest avenger. But behind those heroic roles was a man carrying memories too heavy to share. Why did he never speak about it? Was it fear? Shame? Or a choice to bury the past forever? One thing is certain. The strongest people aren't the ones who never break. They're the ones who keep going. Even when the world never sees the cracks. If this story moved you, hit that like button. Subscribe for more untold Hollywood truths. And tell us in the comments, should Chris ever share his side of the story? Or are some secrets better left in the dark?